So today I'm just going to do a quick little video to show you how to make this closure. And I thought I would put it in a separate video so that it's available for you to just use as quick reference and you don't have to go through a whole bunch of other stuff to get there. So let's go. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things that I use to do this. There's many different ways that you can put these together. I like to put them together with eyelets. But you can use brads. A lot of people do use brads. You need a couple of either punches or just cut out shapes. You could even cut out a square. I like to use circles, so I have a 1 1/8 inch scalloped circle punch and a 3/4 inch just straight circle punch. So you want them different sizes, one smaller than the other. And I mean, you could, depending on the effect that you're going for, you can, vary that as well. And then you need a couple of pieces of, I like to use cardstock, fairly good cardstock for this. I have 2 different colors here, so I'll do one from each color. I need something to set my eyelets with, so if you have something else that you set eyelets with, you can use that. And I'm going to show you how to make a little template to find the center of your circles. It's something that I'm very bad at, so I often do use a template. So I just have a little scrap piece of paper and a pencil for that. So we'll get to that in a minute. So the first thing I want to do is I want to punch out 2 circles. We need 2 of these pieces to make one closure. So 2 pieces of that with the 3/4 inch punch or whatever you're using. And then from my 1 1/8 punch, I'm going to do 2 of that as well. I think I put those aside. And then, actually I will need this one again. To make our template, what I do sometimes is I punch a piece of just plain copy paper with the same size punch as this. And then I fold it in half. You want to fold it pretty carefully in half so that you can, it doesn't matter where the half is, but you want to make sure the edges match because that's going to help you get it right in the center. And then open it up and fold it the other way. And it doesn't have to be like a perfect, 90-degree angle with your folds. It will always meet in the middle anyways. And if you can see that, you have a cross in the middle. So I'm just going to mark that cross like that. Then I'm going to line up my 2 inner circles and put them together like that. And then I'm going to take I'm using the large hole punch because I'm using eyelets. Center that circle and you get pretty close to the center. Way better than I could do without a template. So there's that one. If you're just using a brad, then you just want a little bit of a hole. So you can either, after you get your template done, you can just use like a pokey tool to just poke your hole, or just a tiny little hole punch if you have a 1/16 inch hole punch or something like that. That'll work too. I think I'll do one for this too. I often will just, after this point, I'll just line this up here. It's easier for me to line that up afterwards. And you see how that, it seems like it's, I'm just going to do it this way. Just because I think that's totally fine. So then I have a center marked on that one. I'll put them together so they're both the same. And just punch in the center. And then we have all of our pieces. That's the hardest part. Definitely the hardest part for me. Getting it in the center. So there's our pieces. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. It's a junk journal, right? So then thought he was using another ink. So then what I like to do is, if you're going to be inking, I like to ink the the center circle at least at the beginning. The outer circle you can do at the end. Okay. And then I want to get a piece of, oh, this is the other thing, I guess I didn't show you this. You want a piece of thread. This is just baker's twine. You could use a thin twine. It has to be something fairly thin. Crochet cotton would work well. A thicker thread would work well. And then you just want to kind of decide where you're going to, well, no, you don't have to do that at the beginning because you can just leave it on the spool. So I'm going to stack the bottom circle, the top circle, and one of my eyelets. And then I'm going to take the end of the string and I'm going to put it between the two circles. Okay, so just usually leave it out just a touch there. And then just, so that's in between the red circle and the tan circle. And I just snugged it up around the eyelet there. And then we set our eyelet. And you can push this one as hard as you can, which is not too difficult with the Crop-A-Dile. And that is a nice, really strong, like that's not coming off anywhere. I like to do that on that side. And then on the other side, I'll just set my eyelet. And sometimes people do these where they punch this actually into the project as well. Like if this is your project, they will punch it right into the project. I like to glue mine afterwards. I don't know, it's personal preference, I guess. And then when you're setting this one, don't squish it as far as you possibly can. Just give it a, you know, a nice squish, but don't, see how that one is a little bit more loose than this one, but it's still not going to come off, you know, the back of your, I'm just going to do it just a tiny bit more. Okay. And then what you want to do is put it on your project. I've already done my project, so I'm going to just pretend on this one. So I would glue this up here, and then I would decide, you know, how far I wanted this down. And then I would, let's see here. And then you would decide how far you want this down, and then you would see how much string that would require. And then you want to put this string in between the two layers, just like you did up here, and wrap around. And I usually just wrap around once because I think that's, I don't know, I like that look, and I don't think you need to do it 3 times, but some people like to do it 3 times. So you do it as long as you want it to be, and then you snip off the end. And this is glued onto your project right here. That's glued onto your project right there, and that's as easy as it gets. So to undo your opening, you just go like that. You flip open your opening, and then, you know, like this. So let me just show you again on my finished project here. So I glued this one on this flap and this one on this flap. So I want to hold these 2 flaps together. Again, I squished the string in this one, and I just put it, once you've done it a couple of times, this will stay open for you. And you just, you know, this one I could even do a couple of times, and then it holds your flap shut. So really fabulous little closure. Easy peasy. Go and make some. Blessings.